first thing I noticed wasn't the rain or the engine, it was the breathing. Every time I inhaled, the sound behind me did the same, perfectly, as if the bus itself had learned my lungs and was practicing them in the dark. The bus was nearly empty, the kind of empty that feels intentional. Midnight had thinned the city down to reflections, streetlights smeared across wet asphalt, storefronts blinking like tired eyes. Rain tapped the windows in soft, uneven patterns, and beneath it all ran the steady hum of the engine, low and constant, like a distant chant. I sat midway down the aisle, coat damp, shoulders tight. The seats ahead were vacant, the seats behind me, one row, then darkness. That's when I heard it. Breathing. Wet. Ragged. Too close. At first I dismissed it as my own. The bus amplified sounds, folded them back on themselves. Air conditioning sighed. Fabric whispered. I adjusted my posture and inhaled slowly through my nose. Behind me, an inhale answered. Same length. Same depth. I exhaled. So did the sound. A coincidence, I told myself. People breathe. Buses echo. Still, my neck prickled. I tried again, faster this time. A sharp breath in. The sound behind me snapped in with it. I held my breath. The bus continued its rhythm engine. Rain, tires slicing water, but behind me, the breathing stopped. Not faded. Stopped. Seconds stretched. My lungs burned lightly, the normal protest. I counted in my head. 3, 4, 5. Nothing behind me. When I finally exhaled, the sound returned instantly, releasing air at the exact same moment. That was when I understood. It wasn't following me. It was waiting for me. I shifted in my seat, pretending to check my phone, stealing a glance at the window. The reflection showed my own face pale, eyes alert, and behind me, an empty row of seats. No shoulders, no head, no movement. Yet the breathing continued. I experimented carefully, like someone approaching a wild animal. Short breath in, short breath out, matched. Long inhale, slow release, matched. Then something changed. I went to inhale again, and the sound behind me began first, by barely a fraction of a second. My chest froze mid-motion, confusion stalling my lungs. I inhaled anyway, but it felt crowded, as if the air had already been claimed. The sound behind me finished before I did. A pulse of fear rippled to my arms. I swallowed and tried again. Again, it anticipated me. The sensation was subtle but unmistakable, like trying to step into an elevator already rising without you. My breathing felt delayed, less responsive, heavy. I checked the reflection again. Still no one. My heart began to pound, and soon I noticed something worse. The rhythm of my pulse was changing, slowing, sinking, matching something else. My chest tightened, not painfully but insistently, as if my lungs were being gently but firmly guided by invisible hands. I wasn't breathing anymore. I was being breathed. The air felt thinner with each attempt. My breaths became shallow without my consent, while the breathing behind me grew deeper, more confident, stronger. I exhaled and saw it just for a moment in the window's reflection. My breath, not fogging the glass, drifting backward, like smoke pulled by a reverse wind, sliding past my shoulders and dissolving into the darkness of the seat behind me. My mouth went dry, panic fluttered, sharp and immediate, but even that felt muted, as if my body was conserving what little oxygen remained. I tried to breathe faster. The sound behind me surged ahead, taking more. My heart thudded unevenly now, then settled into a slower, heavier cadence. It felt wrong, like marching to someone else's drum. The bus rolled on, uncaring. Street lights passed in a metronome of yellow flashes. I realized then that the breathing wasn't just sound, it was consumption. Every inhale I attempted arrived partially empty, as though something had already taken the first share. My fingers tingled. The edges of my vision softened. I needed to look, to confirm, to see what was behind me. even if it broke whatever fragile balance remained. With shaking hands, I opened my phone's camera and lifted it just enough to peer over the headrest. The screen filled with foggy distortion, rain-speckled light, and a shape. A face. Mine. But wrong. Blurred, as if seen through water. Features sagging, misaligned, like a reflection struggling to remember the original. Eyes half-formed, mouth opening and closing with greedy precision. Breathing. My breath. The phone slipped from my fingers, clattering softly to the floor. Cold washed through me, not from fear alone, but from understanding. It wasn't copying me, it was becoming me. Each breath it took pulled something more than air. Warmth, strength, presence. The shape behind me grew clearer with every inhale it stole. Skin tightening, shoulders filling out, hands pale and unfamiliar resting on the seatback inches from my ribs. I felt pressure then, gentle but unmistakable, on either side of my chest. Hands, moving as I moved, expanding when I tried to inhale, contracting when I exhaled. I tried to break the rhythm, forcing myself into rapid breaths, hoping to overload it, to confuse the mimicry. The result was immediate. The hands matched me perfectly. My lungs burned, but not from effort from loss. The faster I breathed, the faster it fed. Dark spots crept into my vision. The bus lights blurred. Sound narrowed to the engine's hum and the synchronized rise and fall of two chests pretending to be one. I realized then the cruel elegance of it. It didn't need to attack. It only needed time. The bus slowed. A terminal stop. The end of the line. The doors hissed open, spilling cool night air inside. Freedom was inches away. I tried to stand. My legs didn't answer. There was no pain, just absence, as if the signal for my brain dissolved before reaching them. Behind me, the weight lifted. Footsteps sounded on the aisle. I watched, helpless, as the figure rose into view beside me. Fully formed now, solid, wearing my face with unsettling accuracy. It glanced down at me, not with malice, but with calm recognition, gratitude even. Then it stepped off the bus. The doors closed, the engine hummed. Silence settled into the seat behind me. Minutes passed, or seconds. Time had thinned along with my breath. Eventually, the bus moved again. I sat very still, lungs shallow, waiting. At the next stop, someone boarded a tired silhouette shaking rain from their coat. They chose the seat in front of me. I inhaled, and behind them something else did too.